In today's video, we're going to be creating this pitch deck presentation in PowerPoint. So let's get started. So I already have PowerPoint open. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this. Next, let's insert an image. So what I'm going to do is go to pictures, stock images, and I'm going to turn on this dialog. Okay, so we're going to search for this. We'll search Ripple. And I'm just going to scroll down till I find the image I want, and this is the image I'm looking for, and I'm just going to click on this image and we're going to insert that image. Now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to select this image. Obviously I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to right click our background and select format background. Now I'm going to go to picture or texture fill, and I'm going to click on clipboard, and we now have this image as the fill of our background, and we can delete this image since we no longer need it. Next, let's insert a shape. I'm going to go to shapes, select rectangle, and I'm just going to draw this over here. First of all, let's set it to no outline, and I'm going to place it over the entire background, and I'm going to extend it till it covers the entire image. Now let's go to fill and select full black for the fill, and then make the transparency 25%, and we have this. Now we're going to insert another rectangle. So once again, go to shapes, I'm going to select rectangle, and I'm just going to draw one over here. Go to fill, set this to no fill, shape outline, change the weight to 4.5 points. The height, make the height 9, and the width is going to be 12.5. So we're going to go to shape outline, and we're going to select the color. So I already have the color here, but I'm going to show it, go to more outline colors, and in the hex option we're going to type out 0EE CCF, and that's it. So I think I did that. I did that a bit too fast. Sorry about that. I'm just going to show you more outline colors, and this is the values. You can, insert the red, green, and blue manually, or you could just add the hex code. So now we have this very pretty teal color. So we're going to create the heading finally. So we're going to go here, or you could go here. They're all basically the same thing. We're just going to go here, and then we're just going to drag, and we're going to type out innovation consulting presentation, and that's it. Just going to click escape. So we're going to select the text color, make it white. We're going to change the font to Monsterrat, Monsterrat. Size 72. Now we're going to resize this text object so everything fits. Nice. So we're going to move this a bit, and then we're going to move this, and I really like, let me move, I'm going to use my arrow keys to nudge it to the right so that it sits nicely. I'm looking at innovation. Now I'm keeping my eyes over here, and I want it to rest snugly between the N and the O. So I don't know if it's like that. That looks alright. And then we're going to, now we're selected on the rectangle object. We're going to go ahead, hold Control, and select the text object. We're going to arrange, and then go to align middle. And now we have this um, cool looking heading or title. Now we're going to create the subheading. So we're going to insert another text. Go to insert text box. So we're going to just drag this, and then we're going to type out driving growth through driving growths. So we're going to change the text color. So, oh, sorry. Let's change text color is driving growth through strategic fintech innovation. Now, if you're wondering where I got this text or where this document came from, it's all AI generated text. I just, thought of the outline and I didn't want to use Lorem Ipsum because when I use Lorem Ipsum when I'm doing UI UX design, I use Lorem Ipsum when I'm doing PowerPoint presentation. I use Lorem Ipsum when I'm doing everything. So I just got fed up with it. So I just said, hey, AI exists. Let's use that. So just use any AI of your choice. Whenever I use text, just use Lorem Ipsum text. You don't have to use the exact text I'm using. You just want to get the general feel or the general outline for it. So that's what we're going to do. So all this is AI generated text. You don't have to use it. So I want it to look like this. We're going to change the font once more to Montserrat. Text size 24. Mm, I just this going to drag it a bit and um I wanted to, so we're going to grab the text and then going to move it up here. So it's nice and snug over here. So we're going to grab this and I want it to align perfectly with this one. You know what, I'm going to just give it a few, just I want it to have a bit of space. I think that looks good. Let's drag it. So I kind of like it like this. Let the text kind of cover the entire length of the one on top. So I'm going to select all this. So I'm having issues now selecting the rectangle because the text is resting completely over it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the selection pane. So we're going to go to arrange and then open selection pane. So now we have the option to select on this rectangle. So I'm going to select everything. Oops, not this one. Careful about that. So we're going to select everything, then select going to press Ctrl G, and now we've grouped the entire thing, and now they are one single group. Oh, sorry. Now that we have that, I'm going to make sure I'm selecting the entire group. Go once more to arrange, go to align center, align middle, and now we have this perfectly aligned subheading and heading and subheading. And now we have our cover page for our PowerPoint presentation. Now that we have our type 2 slide, we're going to duplicate this. We're going to select on the slide over here and then Control D. And now we've duplicated our slide. So we're going to select the entire group and then um, right click, go to group, on group. Now on the selection pane, I'm going to select this rectangle outline. I'm going to delete it. Just going to drag this out of the way for a bit because I want to do a bit of work. We're going to select this Control D to duplicate it. Now we're going to grab any one of them really and then just drag one to the side. So going to select everything, and type out 0, 1. This is going to be the title slide for title, or the open slide for each slide. I want to introduce each slide separately. So we're going to have 1 and then the contents of the slide, 2 and then the contents of the slide. I'm going to change the text alignment to be in the center, and then we're going to add, so we're going to just select this option and it's going to create the outline as well as the color we want. So we're going to change the weight to 4.5. We're going to change this text to the size of font the text to 115. Going to move this resize it so that everything fits nicely. So we have our first, we have this 01, and then we're going to change the content of this to about us. Once again, resize it so that everything fits bits. Going to move this here. So we're going to center this two, and then we're going to have a tagline just below this. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab this as well. It's, I guess, that feels too close. Going to have it over here, and then for the tagline for about us, have this. I'm going to grab my notes. So once more, sorry. Once more, you can go ahead and use lorem ipsum text. This is AI generated text. I just wanted it to be more interesting. That's why it's all you have. I have all this content. So if you want to do it yourself, you can go ahead and just pick your AI engine of choice and use that, or just use lorem ipsum. So I'm going to use this is going to be this is the subtitle for about us. So I'm going to copy this instead of typing it or every time. I'm going to click this and then Control V, and it's going to replace it. Now I'm not going to change the length of this text. Um the way I designed it, I wanted it to always take 2 lines basically. So I don't want it to just be 1 line. So sometimes I'm not going to resize this. I'm just going to leave it as is, as as is. Sorry. And I'm going to drag this and I'm going to align it with about us up here. Now I this is when I miss Figma, because you'll be able to do all this and I'll be able to give you a specific number, but yeah, we'll just have to make do what we have. So now that we have all this, we're just going to select this, hold control, sorry, going to an annoying thing, select this, hold control, select this, and also select this. And now we're going to Control G. Now we've grouped the entire thing. Now we're going to this arrange, align, center, arrange, align, middle. Now everything is perfectly centered. Now we're going to try our best to kind of match the alignment. I know that it's not going to be perfectly aligned. Probably isn't, because one, this is one, there's going to be two, there's going to be three, but doesn't really matter. If you really want it to be perfectly aligned, you can do that yourself. Once we're done with this project, you can modify it as much as you want. So you can go ahead and change whatever you want. You can change the colors, change the background image. But for now, this is pretty much, this is good. So the way I like to do is, I know that a lot of times when I see projects, what they'll do is they'll do title, content. What I try to do, I try to focus on those that are the most similar and just work it out. So I'm going to create the title page for all slides, because I think, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, we're going to have a title slide, then we'll have the actual slide. Instead of just having the slide move through, we're going to have this title slide for each slide. I don't know if I don't know if that makes sense. So let me just do it. So I'm going to select slide 2 and I'm going to Control D and duplicate it. So now I'm going to change this to 2. And as you can see, this is what I meant, that 1 and 2 won't fit, but it's alright. You can change it if you want. I'm just going to make this slightly bigger so that it fits. Next, I'm going to change the about us. What's next on the agenda? So about us. So number 2 is our expertise. So I'm going to copy this, and just like the about us, I'll always want it to be in 2 lines. Everything is going to be 2 lines. Even when it can fit in 1 line, I'm going to make it 2 lines. So now I'm going to drag it. We have our expertise. Come here, get the tagline: delivering tailored fintech strategies that drive results. I'm going to copy this, select this text, and then Control V, and it's going to paste and replace what we had there. And we're done with slide. the title slide for we're done with the title slide for um second agenda 2 or whatever our expertise. Once again, I'm going to select the whole group, and since you remember that at this at this area we things have definitely changed a bit. So I'm going to grab the selection, open the selection, arrange pin, sorry, align center, and then once again just to make sure align middle, nothing changes because it's fine. And I guess you know what's going to happen. We're going to select this and control D. Going to make this 3 and nothing changed. So we're not going to touch anything here. We're going to find what's number 3, our services. So we're going to create, going to copy this, just select everything, control V. Ooh, sorry. Going to remove this. We have our services. We're going to get the tagline for this, copy, going to paste this, and now we have an issue. I'm just going to now this is the thing, I have to either sacrifice the middle. I'm not going to change anything because I want them to stay as close to aligned as possible, and this is what I'm trying to go for. So if I try to align this, it's going to move up. I'm not going to touch, I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm going to control D, excuse me, change this to 4, slight change. Going to have something a bit different now. Going to move this, going to come here, number 4, our approach. Make sure I get this right. Don't want to have any extra space where we don't need it. I'm going to select all this, control V. Ooh. Going to increase this a bit and control C. I'm going to paste it. If you're using lorem ipsum text, you just paste exactly the same text. In fact, if you're using lorem ipsum text, I think the only thing you would have to change is this title. Then lorem ipsum text stays the same. Like when I first created the project, the taglines were actually all lorem ipsum text, but like I said, it looks boring to me. That's why I changed it and then added actual content because the entire content of the slide was lorem ipsum. So I filled in some black, but um, this part of my actual project is still lorem ipsum. So that actually makes things easier for you if you're using lorem ipsum. So I'm going to look at the two, and I'm not going to change anything because that's the thing about you're dealing with this is a bit smaller than this. You just have to kind of eyeball it and figure out how what looks good. I'm trying to give as close, like I'm trying to give good widths and alignments and spacing and all that. But at the same time, I'm trying to encourage you to not try to draw within the lines. Try to be creative with what you're doing and don't be afraid to move things around every now and then. So, going to Control D once more, and then we're going to change this to 5. Just going to make this a bit smaller. So, I have 5. Going to grab this again. We're going to check what's number 5. Client success stories, the title. Going to copy that, go ahead and paste it. Once again, I want it to occupy 2 lines, so I'm going to move this till something. I don't like that. I would prefer client success stories. Now this actually looks like something I'll have to move, and this is, I just made that point earlier that you just need to, kind of move things. But the good thing is that we're going to have our content slide in between all these slides, so it's not going to go from one of them to the other. So even if it's a little misaligned, it's not a problem. We're going to, work it out. I'm going to add the subtitle, copy this, and then we're going to go ahead and paste it here. And this time I'm going to grab the entire group because now it's looking really like there's more space than there is here, and it's looking kind of lopsided. It's no, it's not looking kind of, it is lopsided. Going to align, going to align center, and now we have this. Now this time, since I've moved this to the right, I'm not going to copy this again. I'm just even going to pick like the first one because that's the original, and this everything is just a duplicate of the rest. I'm going to Control D this one, and then I'm going to grab it and to bring it after number 5, and this is going to be number 6. Not a problem. I'm going to move it this direction. Then check this. We're going to go for number 6. Number 6 is meets the same. Copy. And then we're going to paste this. Once again, I want to have 2 lines, and I don't like this. I want to have it like meets. Yeah, I prefer that. Going to grab this. Led by experts, united by innovation. So now we have a one line tagline. That's first one. That's I think the first one. That looks fine. Going to grab this, Control D, duplicate it. Going to change this to 7. Nothing changed. Going to check what's on number 7. Industry insights. Into Control C. Um, Control V. Industry insights. Yeah. Then gets the subheading, staying ahead in a rapidly evolving fintech landscape. And going to select all this, Control V, it's going to paste and replace it. Once again, select, Control D, select this, change it to 8, nothing, length didn't change, so that's okay. Why choose us? Select this, copy, Control C, and then going to Control V. Once again, 2 lines. Trusted by industry leaders, chosen for results. Going to go ahead and paste. Once again, Control D. We're almost there. We have 10 slides, and each slide. Don't worry. Okay, I wanted to say each slide has one. That's each agenda has one slide. Almost all of them. 9 out of 10 of them have just one extra slide. So don't worry. It's not going to be much. There's just going to be a little bit of designing and stuff. So um, going to go changes to 9. Going to check what's next. Our process. Okay. Going to select all this. Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. You can change this, to clean it up if you want to. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Doesn't really affect anything. Going to copy this. Going to go ahead and place it here. For the 10th title slide, I'm going to duplicate the first one because it's essentially the same numbers, and I want it to, to be, as close to the original as possible. And I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to bring it down here, and then I'm going to make this 10. Going to grab a note conclusion. So these are first single line title, first and only single line title. Going to copy this, going to paste it, make it wider, longer rather. Then we're going to center it with 10. You can, if you like, if you prefer it, if it's aligned to the bottom, you can go ahead and do that. Well, I think I'll leave it like this. Then I'm going to copy the subtitle, the tagline. Then we're going to paste, and that's it. We're done with all title slides. Now next, we're going to create the content in between each slide. So how we're going to how we're going to do that? Select the first slide, Control D. We're going to select the group, press delete. Going to reduce the width of this rectangle. So we're going to size and properties and reduce this to 10. Next, we're going to hold Control and Shift, and we're going to drag this. So now we're going to create a duplicate and it's flush. They are side to side and just, touching each other. So we're going to grab this and extend it to the end. Next, we're going to make this a white rectangle with 100% zero transparency. So we're going to make this 0, and then we're going to make this white. Next, we're going to insert a text box. So we're going to grab a text box. On this side, going to write contents. So just contents. That's it. Escape. We're going to change properties, change it to white. Once again, we're going to go for Montserrat. I always have a problem pronouncing it. I always have to look at it to Montserrat. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Sorry. Then we're going to increase this. Going to change the size to 44. Going to drag this out to make this, and I think it looks centered, but you know what? We won't go by. It doesn't matter what it looks like. We're going to select both items. Hold on, escape. Select the rectangle first and then the text. We're going to go to arrange, align center, and then once again align middle, and then we have this content. Now I've released this cool design where I've done it before. You can change the hold on. You can change the rotation of this and then to I'm going to hold shift so it's 100, so you can write table of contents, or you can make this, you know let's increase this to let's go for something really big. 96 kind of large. 80. Let's try this. And so you can try something like this, and if you don't want to write content, you can just write table of contents. And actually that's I've actually done it before. It's actually really cool, where you just make everything fit. But that's not what we're doing today. This is what I'm going for. So for this part now, we're going to do the table of contents. We're going to insert an ellipse. So we're going to go to shapes, select oval, circle, just click, we're done. We're going to select this. So I'm going to remove the outline. Now for the fill of the circle, as usual, black. We're just going to go full black. For the dimensions of the circle, we're going to go 2 by 2. So 2 cm by 2 cm. So it's a perfect circle. So we'll have to be a bit closer for this. So I'm going to hold Control and then zoom in a bit. For the next part, we're going to add another text box. So we're going to go to Insert, Text Box, and on the circle, I'm going to just drag this here. Now you can do this directly on the circle. If you double tap the circle, it will do that, but that's not what I want to do. I'm going to type 0, 1, and make this a bit longer. Now we can't see anything for now. I'm going to so we're going to change text color to white, make it center once again, going to change the font to Montserrat, and size is going to be 28. Oh, let's get even closer. So I'm going to, now it's showing that it's perfectly centered, but we're still going, just like the way we did with the title slides, we're going to duplicate this multiple times. So I want to give it a bit of space so that it's able to accommodate all the digits without changing anything, because I want to group them together. So I'm just it looks fine, I guess. So I'm going to select both items. The ellipse, it doesn't matter which one comes first. Arrange, we're going to align center here. Then once again, align middle, and that's fine. And now Control G. Now we have this single item here. Going to now next we're going to insert another text box. Going to insert text box. This time we're going to write, let me just write what was the first item? About us. So we have that about us. Once again, change the font to Montserrat. This time size is going to be 24. Going to drag this out a bit. Now I'm going to zoom out once more. Now it's not giving me the third handle. Let's do this. I'm going to do it this way because I'm going to duplicate it. So the size of the size really doesn't matter. So because I'm going to put other things in it, and they'll have different sizes. So I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to select these two items. Doesn't matter which one. Arrange, align. Ooh, sorry. Oops. We're going to align middle, and then we have that. Now this is once again when I miss Figma, I would have been able to figure out the exact spacing, but I can't really give one. So you know what, maybe we should just escape. Maybe we should just get it as close as possible. Let's see how that looks. You know what, Figma is already giving, that's actually fine. So we're going to select this group, going to select both groups, and then we're going to Control G, and now we have this text item. Now we're going to do the same. We're going to hold Control and Shift and drag. So the next where I'm looking here is our expertise, or I'm going to come to my notes. This is the content for the table of content. So here we're going to select this one. I'm going to change it to 2, and of course it's messed up. I tried my best. So yeah, seems my best efforts to make sure everything was centered. It didn't. It didn't. I tried my best, so I'm going to center this once more, and in order to make sure that it's all perfectly squared away, going to go for the selection pin. So we're going to have this item selected, arrange, align center. I don't think anything changed. Align middle. So we have those two, and then I'm going to select, hold on, I don't know what's going on. Going to select this group to select, sorry, I'm having issues. Select this, and I think it actually is fine. Just make sure it's okay. So now we have this, and the content for this is expertise. Escape, and we're done with number 2. So number 2 has more promise of being perfectly aligned. So we're going to just going to go out a bit, going to grab this, and then shift, control and shift, drag this down. We're going to go for number 3. Number 3 is our services. going to change this to 3. Then I'm just going to select everything. Our services, once again, grab number 3, Control Shift, drag it, select this, change it to 4, and now we'll have to make some changes once more. Just going to get a bit closer. Going to make it 4, and of course things are out of work, so I'm going to move it and hope PowerPoint does something and it didn't, so just going to have to align it manually. Going to make sure going to align center, so that's fine. And then going to approach, so let's just copy approach. You know what, at this point you can pause the video because you can already tell what I'm going to do. So oops. At this point you pretty much know what I'm going to do. Is 1 to 10 items. You already have the outline here, so you can maybe pause the video and try it for yourself and see just see what happens, because it's basically going to be the same thing. So I'm going to select this once, oops, Control and Shift, drag once more, select this, make this 5, and then once again client success stories. Select text, Control V. Maybe I should. Let's leave that for now. We'll see how it turns out. So for this, it's probably not going to work because 1 is always smaller. So I'm going to grab something that I feel like it's going to be wide enough. I'm going to grab number 4, and I'm going to hold Control, not Shift this time, just Control, and I'm going to drag. And then we're going to change this to 6, and number 6 is meet the team. Select the text here, paste it, grab number 6 once more, Control and Shift, drag. Industry insights is number 7, so we're going to copy contents for number 7, and then of course paste it. Going to change the width of the text box so that everything fits. I'm going to grab maybe let's grab 6 once more. I'm going to Control and Shift, drag. This will be number 8. Once more, white choosers, paste. We should have just gone for 7, I guess. So yeah, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just go with 8. Oops, sorry. Select just number 8. Control and Shift, drag 9. Our process like this. Paste. And for the final item, we're going to Control Shift once more and drag. So number 10 is conclusion. So make this 10 first, and then conclusion, and we have all the contents and they all look good. We're going to tidy up everything and then arrange it. This is why I wish you know, give us more options. So we're going to select these two items, go to arrange and align top. So we have this item. So I would like, I would prefer if this spacing would be similar here. So I wish there was an option to do that. We're just going to use our arrow keys to kind of move it around and see how that looks. You know what? Let's just grab both of them and nudge it to the side. I guess that's okay. We're going to select just this. Escape, select just number one, hold control and select all the items. Going to move this, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to align, and this time I'm going to align right. And since I maintain the same spacing for everything, they're pretty much all fine. Then I'm also going to select arrange once again, going to align, and then I'll distribute vertically, and that's all good right now. And Control G, I'm going to group this entire thing. Now this is done. Since this one too is fine, we're going to leave it as is, but this time this is a bit longer, so we're not going to do what we did in the other one. We're going to just hold control and then going to select everything. And just to make sure, now I was holding shapes when I did all this, so you can see that everything's perfectly straight. So just in case, I'm going to align left. Ooh, something moved. I'm just going to nudge this back, and then I'm going to once again select align, distribute vertically, and we're not going to touch anything. We're just going to Control G, and now we're going to select these two, and they're both fine. So I would love, I think it will be cool if we grouped both and then centered it. So we're going to Control G, make it one big happy family. I'm going to select arrange, align, middle, and there you have it. We have our table of contents, and that's done. So we have our title slide. Next we have our table of contents. That's cool. Plus we're going to go to about us now. We'll come over here to um, new slide. I should have just done that in home. Sorry. Select blank, create a new blank slide. Um, Now in shapes, we're going to select rectangle. Click, we have rectangle. So we're going to remove the outline. No outline. Then for fill, we're going to select black. For its dimensions, we're going to go here and then make this 16, and this is going to be 9.5. There we go. That's what we have here. Next, we're going to insert another shape, oval. Select. This time we're going to remove the fill. So what we're going to go is go here and set it to no fill. We're going to increase the outline to 4.5. Then we're going to change its dimensions and increase it to 5 by 5. Next, we're going to change its color, and we're going to not that outline, and then as usual our seal. We're going to grab this and then set it here, that's center. Next, we're going to grab a few icons from our icon library. So we're going to insert once more, select icons. Let's give it a moment. Yeah, so we're going to search form, and yeah, select this one. Next, we're going to search for path, and we're going to select this one. And for the final icon, I just for the life of me can't figure out what it's called. I tried a bunch of things, but I can't figure it out. If anybody knows, let me know. So I'm going to go down. We're going to scroll down a bit. Give it a moment. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So we're going to select this check mark with these three lines here. Select that, and then we're going to insert. Now we have these three icons. So we're going to grab this and move all of them. I'm going to select escape. I just want to I want to give myself a bit of space to work with. So now that we have these three items, we're going to grab this and change its fill. Oh, first of all, we're going to change their sizes. Let me just grab all three to size, and then I'm going to make this 3 by 3. That's fine. And then for this, we're going to make this white. I won't be able to see it for a moment, but that's fine. We're going to grab this and then put it here, and then centered within that circle. For the next item, we're going to insert a text box. So right here, I'm just going to write text for now. I'm going to exit. Oops. Yes. Select that. Change color to white so that I can see the actual text box. Now, what we're going to do next is, um, you know, move on to. I'm going to open my Notes tab as usual. You can go ahead and use lorem ipsum text. It's 100%. I just didn't want things to be boring, so that's why I used AI generated text. So we are working on about us. So overview. Um, so we're going to grab this text. We're going to copy it, and then going to come here and paste. Oops, that looks. We're going to fix that in a moment. I'm just going to grab this, and then we're going to, of course, change the font to Montserrat, and then we're going to change the size of our text to 20. First of all, I'm going to change the alignment to be center. Then we're going to change the size of our text to be 20. So I'm going to drag this out a bit. Yes. Let me see. Let me see what its dimensions are. Yeah, I'll just round things up a bit. I'll make it 9. That looks okay. It's fine. Now this part you can use two different text box if you want, but I'll just use the same text box. So I'm going to press enter so that there's like a space. I'm going to get rid of this phantom line here, and then we're going to have this. So I'm going to select overview, and then I'm going to change the size to 24, and then I'm going to change it to, it's currently Montserrat. I'm going to change it to Montserrat semi bold, and there we have this. So I'm going to grab this and just, yeah, I think PowerPoint likes its guides are saying that, yeah, that's fine. So we're going to leave it as it is. So that looks fine. So before I'm going to group all of them, but before I do that, I want to have, since I already know everything's, spaced out and such, I'm just going to grab this without grouping first. I'm going to grab everything, hold control, and then I'm going to drag this, and then I'm going to grab it once more, and I'm going to grab this. So now we're going to work on the next card, which is mission. So this is going to be mission. So we're going to grab this. First of all, we'll get rid of this. Going to select this, change the fill color to white. So, okay. So now that was one of the first items, so it's well at the back. So we're going to grab it, bring it forward, and then going to make sure it's centered. I don't know if it's centered or it's just trying to align itself with this other text. So I'm just going to use align left and right, align center, yep. And then I'm also going to use this align middle. So we're going to grab that. So since this is complete, I'm just going to group it. So everything just stays in place. Just to be sure that this is in the right position because I didn't use align here. I don't trust myself. Align is your friend. Align center. Oh, nothing moved. So fine. Oh, that was fine anyway. So I'm just going to group it because why not? Then this is mission. So I'm going to select this. We're going to grab mission, copy, and then I'm not just going to paste it in. If I paste it in, it's going to take these attributes. I don't want it to do that. So that feels like more work. I'll still have to change things a bit, but I'm going to grab this and then Control V. Now we have mission, and yeah, come here, enter, give it a bit of space, select this, increase the size to 24. No, that was wrong. 24. And then we're going to make this Montserrat semi-bold. So this extra space, I don't know, it makes me feel like it's fine. I thought it looked a bit misaligned to me. That was just maybe my eyes playing tricks on me. So now that's fine. So we're done with that. Then we're going to grab this, the final one. We're going to go back to the go back here. Then of course change it to white. Going to delete this first. Just grab this and not as much. Go back to the selection pane. Then take things up. Then we're going to place it inside this circle. I'm just going to select the circle first, select the graffiti icon next, go to arrange, align center, and then align middle, and that's fine. So we're going to Control G to group. Then we're going to add our text. Use either this text or whatever text you like. So this is industry served. I'm going to copy that, and then first we're going to remove this overview. You can do it, you can do whatever you want. Like if you feel like that's fine, you can go ahead. I just want to edit the larger text, so we're going to paste it. Now that we've pasted it in, we're going to enter to give it a bit of space. I'm going to select this, make this 24, and then we're going to make this semi-bold, and that looks fine. So now I want these four items to be a bullet point. So I'm just going to go over here, select this and now we have a bullet point, and everything looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of this, and then Control G to group. I'm going to select this, Control G, and then we're also going to select all of these, Control. Going to give each one a bit of space, so we're going to move things out a bit. I think the amount of spacing looks, move things out just a bit more to see how it looks. Okay, so we're going to grab three of them. Go to arrange, align. I'm going to distribute horizontally, and looks good, I guess. So now we're going to grab these two groups. We're going to grab this group and we're going to select this group and we're going to move it up. I'm going to use my arrow keys to nudge it to the top. That looks fine. I think I'm going to grab this. I can see a bit of white. Maybe it's a trick on my eyes. So I'm going to nudge it, and then everything looks flush and looks like we are done for the contents for the About Us section. Alright, now that we're done with the contents for um, this, sorry about that. I think I just noticed that they are not all centered. So I'm going to select all three items, Control G to group them, and then arrange, align, center. Then everything's fine now. So I'm just going to leave it there. So we're going to select slide 5, go to new slide, blank slide. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab an image. So I'm going to use pixels. So when I make presentations with PowerPoint, I tend to go between jump between pixels and Microsoft images, Microsoft stock images. They're basically the same thing. You see images you see on pixels, you could see in stock images. Images you see on Microsoft, you see over there. But on pixels, it's easier to find images because um, they have better ways of finding the image because specific search terms and other kind of thing. So I'm going to go over to pixels and I'm going to grab this image. This is the image I want to work. The name of the account is Foxels. I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. um, Photo of people leaning on wooden table is the name of the image. So if you want to go ahead and grab that image, or you can grab any image you want, it's all up to you. So we're going to go back to PowerPoint and I'm going to in search. Now I'm just going to go straight to my downloads and I'm just going to drag it and drop it. That's how I tend to do it. Or you can go to file, I think it's file, or insert image, then you can go to the directory where it is and then you go ahead and add that. So I'm just going to grab this image and I want to crop it so that it's covering, this is, you can see that where this zero is, that's where half the entire slide is. So I want to crop the image so it will cover the left half of the slide. So I'm going to drag this till it's at the edge over here. Now we're going to go to crop and I'm just going to select crop and I'm just going to grab this handle by this side and drag this till we get to 0, and you can see PowerPoint is saying yeah, it's cool with that. So I'm just going to drag this so it doesn't look too awkward. Oh, sorry my guy. I'll have to remove this guy entirely and let's move. See, I want to get a view that is kind of, well, I say whole. There's still some hands, but you know what? Let's just leave it like that. It looks fine. So enter. Now the images. We have the image covering the um, left half of our slide. Next, we're going to insert a shape. We're going to go for a shape. We're going to select a rectangle. Select, and we have our rectangle. As usual, we're going to set the outline to this teal color right here, and we're going to once again remove. We're going to set it to no fill. Let's increase the weight of the outline to 4.5. For dimensions, we're going to make the height 6 cm, 6, and for the width we'll go with 3. So we're just going to grab that and kind of move it over here and just let it stay there. Next, we're going to insert a text box. So we're just going to go over here, grab a text box, and over here we're just going to write key, enter, expertise, enter once more, and areas. So we're just going to click on that. Still going to do a bit of editing. So we're going to grab it now. The entire section is selected, the entire text box is selected. Once again, Montserrat. I think that's how you say it. I think I'm saying it right. We're going to grab Montserrat. We're going to make the text 44. Size of the text 44. drag it so that's, yeah, everything's cool. So now we're going to grab this and we're going to center it with this rectangle and create this something similar to what we have in the cover slide, the title slide, your first title slide. We're going to have something similar. So once again, we'll have to eyeball it. We're just going to have to grab two of them. I press shift, so you can use control, arrange, align middle, and now it's fine. So I think it looks, this looks, I don't like the way the P is. Let's give the P a bit of breathing room. So that's, yeah. So this looks okay. So I'm just going to grab both of them. I just like using groups. That's, just in case I have to grab it. This is essentially one item. So we have this as a title, key expertise areas. Expertise areas. We're going to get insert another text box. So go to insert, select text box. Draw it a bit. I'm just going to write text so I won't disappear. I'm just going to write text, escape, so I can select the box. Of course, we're going to go for Montserrat. Set the text size to, let's go 24. 24 is fine. So I'm going to go back to my notes. Now we're here, our expertise. So our expertise area, we've done key expertise area, sorry. And we're going to have these as, I'm going to just copy them as that. I'll edit it later. To minimize, to select this and then Control V. Okay, so this around so that we have it nice and snug. Going to take out all these dashes. Okay, now that we're done with that, I'm going to select the text box and then I'm going to click bullet point, and now we have these bullet point items. Now I'm just going to move it in and I want to align. I'm going to move this in a bit. Yeah, this looks fine. And then we're going to grab this text box and I want to align the edge of this to this, not this point, because I did this and it kind of looked odd to me. So I'm going to do this. Make it as, you can use a ruler if you want. Or if you want to use a ruler, that's fine. No, I don't mean on your screen. This, you should. I think. I'm sorry. PowerPoint has a ruler, so you can grab one of the rulers and then measure it to make sure that everything is perfectly aligned. But I'm not going to do that. So this looks fine. So if you want it to be, you know, let me see, perfectly aligned, we could do that. Let me sure. Let me try. Yeah, it looks okay. So there's a bit more space below this. So once again, I'm going to grab both of them, Control G, and I'm going to do that so I can center it perfectly. I'm going to select Arrange, Align, Align Middle, and there you have it. We are done with our expertise. So these are the expertise of imaginary company that were making a what do you call it? We are making a, oh my god, I've forgotten what I'm making. Oh, brain fart. I'm sorry. I'll check. I should have probably renamed my presentation so I remember what we are. Pitch deck. I'm sorry. It's a pitch deck. This is the expertise of the areas. This is the expertise of the company that we are making this pitch deck for. I'm sorry. So we are done with the our services, our expertise. So let's take a look at this slide and see how it looks like. So yeah, it looks good. So escape, and then next we're going to go to our services and go to new slide, blank. This time we're going to for this slide we're going to use a smart art. So we'll go to insert, text box. So I'll just write services here so I know where it is. Grab this handle. Going to go to our notepad, Control C. Once again, use lorem ipsum text or create your own AI generated text, or if you have the time, you can use what I'm using. Doesn't matter. Select all of these, make it a bullet point. Now we're going to grab this entire thing and we're going to, select the entire text, right click, and then convert to smart art. So the smart art I don't want is not part of this preview, so I'm going to go to more smart art graphics. I'm going to go to cycle and I'm going to grab this one, diverging radial. Select and then OK. Now we have this smart art. So I'm going to grab this once more and I want it to cover the entire screen, so I'm just going to drag it till a moment. Going to grab it. Okay, that's touching the edge. And then I'm going to do this once again, stretch it outward. And I don't want the edges to be touching I don't want the top and bottom to touch the edge of the screen. I want to give it a bit of space, so I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm going to go to home, arrange, align, middle, and that looks good. So I'm going to select, I'm holding control select and control select all these circles. Go to, oh, we can use this. Select this, set the outline to black. Then for fill, we're going to set to no fill. Then for the text, we're going to make it Montserrat, and we're going to make it black. And I'm also going to make it bold. So we're done with the outer um, circles. We're going to click on this. First of all, let's change the font to Montserrat, make it black. Once again, we're going to come to outline. This time we're going to make the outline teal. This teal color we've been using, going to make the width 4.5, and then we're going to set it to no fill. Then one more thing, we're going to grab these arrows. We're going to select all of them. Going to go to format, and here we have the size option, smart art size. We're going to grab this and I'm going to make this 1 cm, and I'm going to make this 1.2. Now while all the arrows are still selected, we're going to go to shape outline, make it black, and then no fill. And that's it, we're done. We're done with our core offerings. So once again, let's open our slideshow to see how it looks. And there it is. Simple, straightforward. Now for our next slide, we're going to build the our approach slide. So what we're going to do is, once again, new slide, and then we're going to select blank. So first let's insert a title or subtitle depending on how you think about if this is the title. So we're going to insert a text box, and then in our text box we're going to write methodology. I hope I spelled that right. Methodology. Okay. So we're going to make this Montserrat, and then we're going to make this 44. Drag it out like this, so that's it's all nice and snug, and we're just going to leave it there for now, and we'll figure out everything later. So for the next step, we are going to, build out um, this. So first, let me insert a few icons. So we're going to go to the insert tab, and then we're going to insert a few icons. Sorry, let's give this a moment to load. Okay. So first we'll search gear, and then we're going to select this light bulb with this little gear icon in the middle. Then we're going to search blueprints. This one, the thicker one, the one with the thicker lines. And then we're going to search play. Now we're going to select this one. And then finally we're going to select graph. We're going to search for graph. And I will choose this one. This one that is going up and is facing, the arrow is facing the right direction. And there we have it. We're going to insert these four icons. I'm just going to drag them over here. Oof. Just going to spread it out so I can see everything. So we're going to do this one first. This is second. It doesn't really matter. I was just giving it a place to see before we're ready for them. So I'm going to grab this one first, put it over here, and then I'm going to insert a text box. So this is discover. I'm going to make this Montserrat size 24. I'll make it semi-bold. I'm trying to make it good to, oh well, it's not doing that. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to find Montserrat. I should have done that before doing this. Sorry. Montserrat semi-bold. So we have discover. I'm going to make this centered. So I'm just going to grab this too. I'm not even going to group it. We're going to, put everything together when we have all our elements. So we have Montserrat, sorry, our icon and our um, text or subheading. So I'm going to select both of them and I'm going to make sure that they are aligned. Just want to make sure they are aligned center. So I'm not going to do anything with it now because I want to make sure that all the icons and all of these and everything will be. So it would be better to just leave them as is. I want to build out the remaining parts first before we start adding these others. So for the next one, I'm going to insert a line. So once again, insert shapes. We're going for a line, and I'm just going to hold shift and drag so we have a perfectly straight line. Doesn't matter how long it is. We're going to figure out that I'll hold shift, drag it out to one end, hold shift, drag it out to the other end. So sorry about that. I'm going to grab this. I want to make sure it's centered, align center. Going to move it up a bit. We're going to change some details. We're going to change the color to teal once more. Change the weight to 4.5. Nudge this up a bit. We're going to insert another shape. We're going to insert rectangle. Click. Going to set it to no outline, and for the fill we're going to change the color to black. Now for we're not going to change the height, we're not going to change the width rather, because we just want it to cover the entire slide. We're going to change just the height to 9. So we're going to grab this and place it over here. Let's make sure it's kind of fits perfectly. I think that's it. Doesn't, we'll figure it out later. I'm going to drag it across the entire slide. And there we have it. So I'm going to move this line downward. I feel every time I feel, let me give it, I want to check whether these white bars are going to show, because I always feel like I'm going to see it in the presentation, but yeah, there's nothing there. But it always, drives me up the wall to see that white line. So I'm going to grab this and I'm just going to move it till it touches this and we can see no white spacing. So before we go into building this top part, I want to still add a few details, because I want some things to, as we're building it, it's like, think of it like Tetris. Whatever you put in, whatever comes first is at the bottom. Whatever comes first, yeah, is at the bottom. Whatever comes last is at the top. So I want to build it up so that we don't need to start rearranging everything. I want it to all fit within this a certain arrangement without me having to open the selection pin. So next, I'm going to select. We're going to insert yet another shape. We're going to go with an oval or a circle. We're going to change the um, shape outline to white. We're going to make the shape outline white this time, and we're going to change the shape fill to black, and we're going to grab this and we're going to put it right there. We're not going to change anything yet. I just want to see how everything goes first, and then we'll check it out. So next, what we're going to do, we're going to insert yet another text. So go to insert text box, and I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to write 01. Select the box so that we can edit our font. We're going to make it, let's see, Montserrat first. Make the color white, and we're going to make this 36. Going to edit this so I'm going to zoom in a bit. I'm going to move this till it's perfectly centered, and I'm going to change the alignment to center, and I'm just going to grab both of these, arrange, align center, align middle. So that looks good. I'm going to group this two, and that looks fine. So I'm going to grab this, and hold Control and Shift, and I'm going to drag it to this side, drag another one, and drag one more. This we're going to make, 0, 2. No worries, we're going to move things around. Just select this and also select this. Arrange, align center, align middle. Going to do the same for this one. You know what? We can, since I know it's going to, these two are going to get messed up, so I'm just going to select both of them and delete it. Come back here. I'm going to hold Control and Shift, drag to create duplicate. We're going to make this 3, and we're going to make this 4. One more text box, and we're almost there. So inserts, we're going to go to insert, going to insert yet another text box, and I'm just going to write text. Make it white. Go for Montserrat. We're going to make the text size 20. And I'm going to grab my notepad. Use whatever text you have. And for discover, this is the text for discover. I'm going to copy that and then paste it. There you have it. So before I even, maybe even try to this, I'm going to center this text. Maybe let me make it 4 lines. That's another way I try to make everything uniform. I just decide, oh, I want, everything instead of using um the width. I'll just say, oh, I want this to have 4 lines. So I'm going to set this to 4 lines. So I'm going to all this. Well, they're already where I'm comfortable with. I'm pretty um okay with their position here. So I'm just going to grab this and I'm just eyeballing it. I once again I wish they would give us an option to see the exact spacing of what's going on there instead of trying to, but hey, they did make provisions like this. So I'm going to try and make sure okay they are aligned. You can use a ruler if you want. That's an option, but I typically don't. So I'm going to grab this here. We're going to grab this one more time, drag it once again. I'm going to drag this again. For this, I'm going to add this here. Once again, try to make sure it's aligned with the two other icons. You can use uh, the arrange function to also figure that out. I'm not going to worry about the alignment of all these elements. We can always align them. I'm just trying to make sure that all these are all on the same line, essentially. Yeah, so that looks good. I'm not going to touch anything for now. I'm going to grab this, select the box so I can move it, control shifts so that it's on the same line. Doesn't matter if it's centered, no problem. We'll fix that later. Grab this, center, just so now we know that all these are all on the same line. So now we can now properly format it so that we can change the content to match um, we can change the text to match what we're trying to convey. So the next is design. I'm going to copy this and design. We're going to paste that there. Then what's the text for design? Create tailored fintech solutions. Control V. This one looks a bit odd, so I'll just leave it like that. Maybe we can change this. It looks wonky. I'm sorry, it looks really wonky. So the goal is all these are on the same line. I'll center this later. So once again, I'm going to go to implement and then here is implement. No worries. Move this out a bit. Going to go once more to deploy scalable and secure systems. Paste. And then finally, we are going to go for optimize. Continuously monitor and refine solutions. And there we have our 4 elements. Now, if you want to change it, maybe you don't like the spacing in between, you can maybe move things, maybe move things down or change it. But I'm just going to leave them as they are, and we're going to align everything. So I'm going to grab all of these elements, and I'm going to go to the arrange pin, and I'm going to align center, and then Control G to group everything. I'm going to grab this as well. Going to go to the arrange tab, and then align center, Control G. Once again, I'm going to do this for all of these. Arrange, align, center, Control G to group, and the final one for optimize, we're going to select all of these, arrange, align, center, Control G, and we are almost done. So I would love for, of course, to have equal spacing. So I'm going to hold shift and drag this so I don't mess up the spacing, the alignment rather. I'm going to try and keep things as straight as possible. I'm going to move this, and it doesn't really matter. I just want to figure out what I would like the minimum, spacing between, I mean the max spacing I would want between this and this. Doesn't really matter because we're going to group it and then align once more. So I'm just going to grab all three, arrange, align, nope, distribute horizontally. Now that looks, I think that looks good. So once again, I'm going to Control G just to make sure everything is perfectly centered. Align center. Oh, I see something moved. So we have our optimized. Now, if you want to ungroup it, I don't mind it having it as one giant component. If you want to ungroup it, you can go ahead and ungroup it, but I'm going to leave it like that. Now for this, I'm just going to maybe see what PowerPoint thinks. Whatever guidelines appear, going to see, does that look too close? That looks fine, and I guess that's okay. And yeah, that's fine. So again, let's take a look and see how it looks like on the slide. And that looks absolutely. Ooh, no, no, no. Okay, this is why it's good to, I guess, open it in the slide view. I can see a white line here, and I'm going to. That's not good. I'm going to grab this line, or I'm going to zoom in a bit, and I'm going to grab the line. And this time, I'm just going to go. No, that's too much. Let's check it out once more, and the white line is gone. So yeah, we have it. We have our methodology slide done, or rather our approach, and then they are showing us the methodology. Okay, now that we're done with this slide, we're going to move on to the next slide. We're going to click on the next slide, go to new slide, blank. Then we're going to use two images in this slide. You can go ahead and insert any image you want, but these are the images that we're going to use. We're using two images from Pexels, and this is the account name from, this is the account name, and this is the um, title of the image, and this is the image one of it anyway. This is second image, same, still from Foxels, and we have this is the title of the image. So if you want to use these images, go ahead. If you don't, you can use any image you want, any images you want. So we're going to go back to PowerPoint. Now you can use inserts, go to pictures, image, and then go to this device. But I'm going to just drag it straight from my downloads, and I'm going to grab both images and put it right there. And now I have the two images. So I'm going to grab this handle, and I'm going to, why isn't it so not as much? Sorry. I'm going to resize the image a bit so that we can manage it better. So I'm going to grab this image, and I'm going to put this one up here. Now what I want to do is I want this image to occupy the top left corner of this slide, and I want this one to occupy the top the bottom right corner. So I'm going to move this till it's at 0, and PowerPoint would let me know. Oh, excuse me. Give it, and there we have it. PowerPoint is, telling me. But this side is not equal, so we have to get it to this 0. So that's no problem. I'm going to figure out that. So we're going to go to crop, go to crop. I'm going to grab this handle here, and once again PowerPoint will let me know when I'm at 0, and there we have it. That's it. I'm just going to hold shift so that everything stays aligned and straight. Drag this in so we have a better view of the image. I'm going to go to the second image. Once again, I'm going to align this corner to 0. So I'm just going to once again grab this handle on this side until we get to 0, because it's matching. We're going to align with this corner of this image. Once again, we're going to go to crop, select crop, and then from the top we're going to drag this handle down and till it's right there. Then once again hold shift, drag the image so that we kind of center, let everybody get, let's see, let's know, kind of see everybody that is in the image like that, and that's it. I'm going to press escape, and now we're out of this. Now for the background, I'm going to format the background. So go to format background, and now we're going to change the fill color to black. Next, I'm going to I'm going to insert some text boxes. So insert, and we'll go to text box, and then for this text box we're going to write case study 1. So it's going to be black for now. That's not fine. That's okay. We're going to, and that's case study 01. Going to select the box, make it white, change the font to Montserrat. For this, we're going to change the size to 36. Drag this out a bit. We're going to select just this 01 and change its color to this teal color. We're going to have this, and we're going to move it to the side a bit. Now we're going to add a second text box. Insert text box, and this I'm going to write text so that it won't disappear on me, and I'm going to select it, make it white. Now I'm going to once again grab my notepad. You can use what do you call it, lorem ipsum text, or you can use the text I'm using right here, or you could use whatever text you want. It's 100% fine. And then Control V. I'm going to drag this out and move this bit. I'm going to change the text size to 20, and of course Montserrat. Change the font to Montserrat, and I want to check the width. I want it to be 16. I'm going to make the width 16. I'm going to grab this, select this, and going to align left, and I'm just going to move things around, and I want this edge to touch so that it gives, I want to have I'm kind of easy to kind of figure out some sort of spacing. Now this is looking kind of wonky. When I do this other side, I'll figure out whether that's fine. So let me see. I'm going to select this one, and let's just move it down a bit and bring it a bit closer. That looks okay, but we are probably going to move it because we are not done yet. So I'm going to move things up a bit. We're not done. There's still some formatting to do. I don't want to format it yet because I want to duplicate it. So I'm going to hold Control, select both of them, bring it over here. So I'm going to select all of these and then make it bullet point. So let's leave it like that for now. I think it actually looks good. So for this, we're going to change this to 2. Go to my notepad, grab the text for case study 2, copy this, and then Control V. Once again, select the box, make it a bullet point. And I'm going to select both items and I'm going to make this edge touch the edge of this image. I'm just going to use my arrow keys. I won't even bother. I'll just use, that looks fine. So for the last touch and for the final detail, we're going to insert one more shape. So we're going to go to shapes and I'm going to grab this cross. Tap and we have a cross. We're going to change the shape, this size to 4.3 on this side and 4.3 on this other side. And we're going to grab this handle. Let's get a bit closer. And I'm going to grab this handle and move it so that it becomes much narrower. Now I'm going to, before I even finish that, let's remove the shape outline so that we have no outline. And I want to, there's a way I tend to check whether it's the way I want it. So I'm just going to grab it so now it's equal. So yeah, I honestly can't give an exact dimension for this handle since I don't think it has one. So now we have that and we're going to change the color. We're going to go to shape formats, shape fill, once again teal. This color we've been using now, and that's it, we're done and we are done with this slide. Let's take a look at it and see how it looks. Yeah, that looks fine. Escape. We're going to move on to the next slide, meet the team. So as usual, home, new slide, insert a blank slide. For this we're going to start off with a rectangle. I'm going to insert, go to shapes, rectangle, click. I'm going to set this to no outline and change the fill to black. Now I'm just going to drag the shape across and then to the center, to the middle of our slide. And once again, PowerPoint will let me know when I'm pretty much there. So that's it. We're done with that. The second item is going to be the title here. So insert text box. And this would be, oh, sorry about that. Give me a moment. I'm going to drag this. Go to text box, drag this, and this would be team introduction. I'm going to change the font color to white, change the font to Montserrat, and then size 44. Drag it across, and there we have it. We have our title. I'm just going to move it over here a bit. Next, we're going to insert, or let's just finish up with the design aspects. We're going to insert another shape. This time, a cross once more, and we're just going to tap it here. We'll not change like its size or anything. We're just going to maybe zoom in a bit, and then move this handle till it becomes really, really narrow. Like we want it thin. I think that looks good. Change it, remove the outline, set it to no outline, and fill back to our green. Going to move it so it's almost out of the way. Going to go back to, so that's it. Next, oops, sorry. Next, we're going to insert two images, this time from the Microsoft stock image library. So we're going to insert pictures and then we'll select stock images. Just going to wait for that to load. We're going to search team and we're going to select two images. So first, I'm just going to scroll down, wait for this to load. Sorry about that. I think my internet is kind of wonky today. Um, no, not that one. Going to scroll. Um, okay, this is one of the images I want, but it's not the only one. So this image with this image with this lady, and there's a second one. I think I've already passed it unintentionally. Sorry about that. Okay, this one. We're going to select those two images. So we're going to go insert. Now I want to create a just like a headshot for each individual, but the reason why I'm inserting two images instead of just going for single images or using one, um, the issue is that I'll kind of figure it. Let's just wait for the pictures to download. So I'm going to I'm going to resize. Okay, both of them are selected. I'm going to resize both of them. The reason why I want to do, I selected those two images is I want to use this image and crop out a headshot for this woman, crop out a headshot for this one, and crop out a headshot for him. But I think when I did this project, I tried to crop out, but I didn't want any other person's image, and I wanted it to be more, I had the look I was going for. So that's why we're using these two images. So I'm going to move this to the side. You can just move it out of the way, and I'm going to make this a bit bigger. Just mm, mm, that's fine. So what we're going to do is before I even begin, or what we can do is going to insert a shape. I'm going to insert a circle and just tap it there. We're going to remove the outline. No need to change the color. I'm going to make this 6.5 on this for its height and 6.5 for its width. So before I even begin, this is what I tend to do. I'll put the image. So now that I have the circle over, this is going to be the actual size. You're saying that this man's shoulder is getting into the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize the image once more. So I'm going to hold this handle, grab this, and I want to make sure that I have her, just her, and you know what? I'll increase it a bit more. Don't worry, when I'm done, I'll show you the dimensions of the image when I'm done. And I think that looks good. I think that would work for a headshot. So I just want to have, you know what, why not? Let's make it a bit bigger. So the picture now is at 20.91. These are the dimensions for the image. Before I do any other thing, I'm going to duplicate this image twice. So I'm going to select the image and Control D and D again to duplicate it two times, and I want all the images to be the same size so that when I create the headshot, they are all going to be the same sizes. I don't know if it makes sense where it looks like they all like we don't want one person to be big, like look larger than the other person where the image kind of looks small. It's going to be trickier with this one. It's probably not going to be perfect, but it is what it is. So I'm going to move these images down so that we can move on. Sorry, it's going to be a bit cluttered, but we are going to do what we have to do. So doesn't matter which one is on like in front or behind, but what we're going to do is select the image first, hold control, and let me just going to try and make sure that we have something like this. Select the image first, hold control, and then we're going to go to shape format, whichever one, or picture format. Go to intersect. So before I select it, it's already given a preview, and I like what I'm saying. It's fine. So I'm going to select intersect, and now we have this um, headshot, this profile image. We're going to go to and do the same. We're going to insert a circle, remove the outline, and I'm going to make this 6.5 by 6.5. Now I'm just going to duplicate the circle. I know it's going to get a bit cluttered, but it makes things easier. I think you just have to get, it just comes with the territory. So for this headshot, no problem, no worries. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to say preview before I commit. Select both of them, image first. I'm going to select, I'm going to deselect them. Image first, circle second. Go to shape format, go to intersect. We're going to go to this, and um, I think I'll let me move the image a bit. I want to move the circle up a bit because his head looks like he's about to leave the circle. I'm going to select the image first, circle second, shape format, go to, I don't even, okay, merge shapes, intersect. Yeah, this looks fine, intersect, and now we have our second image. Now for the third one, we're going to grab this and we're going to just choose one of these circles and place it over him. And I think this was why I think I couldn't use this image. Okay, I could have used it, but anyway, I'm going to select this guy. Going to, I think this looks, maybe move it. Oh no, his head is showing. Grab this and then select these two images. Go to shape format and intersect, and you know what, it's fine. His head is, almost at the same level. I'm going to put him here. I'm going to grab this lovely lady. Now, it doesn't really matter because, her proportions are different. We're going to make it smaller. I want her head to kind of match his, yeah, it looks fine. Grab the circle, put it over her head here. Grab the image first, circle, shape format, and intersect. And yeah, looks fine. So we have these images. Now I'm going to move them till they are all centered. So it's going to, this center is going to align with the edge of this, the bottom of the rectangle. And that's what I'm going to do for all of them. And here, here. Now we're going to insert another text box. So insert text box, and I'm just going to, her name is Jane, but I'm not going to format it. I'm going to still have to do a bit of things. So change the font to Montserrat. We're going to leave the size at 18 for now, and I'm just going to grab this and move it a bit. I'm going to grab my notepad once more. So tin, we have Jane Smith, and this is her um this title or description rather, or whatever. So move this out, change the alignment to center. I'm going to remove this excess space. Just like before, I'm going to use enter to create a space. You can use two separate text boxes if you want. I depending on what I want to do, I'll use the same text box for the same this thing. And I'm going to grab this, but I'm not going to change anything. So I'm just going to, oh sorry, I didn't Control and Shift and drag. Really doesn't matter. I'm going to still have to realign it. Now, for Jane Smith, I'm going to select her name and then choose Montserrat semi-bold and make this 24. And that's it for Jane. Then we're going to move on to Mark Lee. Going to select all of this. Control A and Control V to replace everything. Once again, I'm going to press select enter, select his name, change it to semi-bold, and then once again 24. For the third person, Sarah Brown, we're going to copy this, select everything, paste, come to the edge of Brown, enter, select her name, Montserrat, semi-bold, and 24. I'm going to move, I'm going to, yeah, fine. And then finally, for the last gentleman, we're going to have David Johnson. Select everything. Sorry about that. Control A, Control V. Going to select his name. Oh, before I do that, going to press enter first. Then David Johnson. I'm going to make this Montserrat semi-bold and then 24. I'm going to increase this. Yeah, and that's that. So David Johnson, Sarah Brown, Mark Lee, and Jane Smith. I'm going to grab all of them and I'm going to just kind of nudge it down a bit, give it a bit of space. I'm just going to make sure that this are all aligned. I'm going to select both of them. You know what, just in case, you can never be too careful. Align setter, find Control G. Going to grab this as well as this, align center, Ctrl G to group, select this and this, once again arrange, align center, Ctrl G to group, and then once more we're going to select this and this, arrange, align center, and again Ctrl G to group. So I don't mind the space between here and this edge and here and this edge, but what we need to do, we have to make sure that we have equal spacing. I'm just going to bring Jane a bit closer like this, and I'm going to bring David even a bit closer, and I'm going to grab all of them and then go to, oops, what did I do? Sorry, arrange, align, and distribute horizontally. So we have equal spacing. I'm going to group everything again, once more Control G to group the entire thing. I'm going to go back to arrange, align, and align center. Now everything is perfectly centered. And now we are done with our team introduction. Let me just nudge things down a bit because it looks kind of like it's just hanging. I'm just going to. Okay, that looks nice. Let's see how it looks like in the slide. We're going to look at it, and there we have it. It's clean, it's clear, it's really bold. There we have it. Maybe you could move this theme down. You know, move it a little bit if you wanted to, but that's fine. I'm going to leave it at. Now we're done with our theme introduction. Now that we're done with our theme introduction, we're going to move on to the next item, and that is industry insight. So select that slide, go to new slide, blank. Going to insert a shape first. Start with a rectangle. Click, go to shape outline, no outline, go to shape fill, sets to black. Move it to the corner here, drag it across, and we're going to make the height 8. That's it. Next, we're going to insert a text box, and we're going to write trends. I'm going to select the entire box, change it to white. Sorry, that's a typo. I'm going to come out here, select Montserrat, change this to 44. That's it. I'm just going to resize this and remove this out a bit. Figure it out later. For our next item, we're going to insert yet another text box rather. So insert text box and drag. Before I do anything, I'm going to write text because I don't want the text box to disappear. So I'm going to write text. Can't see anything. That's fine. Change it to color to white. Font Montserrat. Change the text size to 24. So I'm going to grab my notepad once more and go to number 7, industry insights. That's the how will I explain it? The trends. So we're going to go here. This is the content for our slide. Once again, either use lorem ipsum text or whatever text of your choice. Control C. We're going to go over here, select this, and then Control V. I'm going to resize this bit. We're going to this time we're going to go to shape formats, and the height is it is what it is. We're just going to change the width to 12.5. So that's fine. We'll just leave it as is. So just going to move it here, and we're going to add a fill. We're going to change the text color. I'm sorry, I changed it to white. I'm going to change it back. Going to Now we're going to select fill because I want to fill the entire thing with a color. So I'm going to select fill and change the fill to white. Now I'm going back. I'll go back to home, change the font color to black. I'm also going to add an outline. So go to okay, we have the outline option here. I'm going to make it black, and we have a black outline. Let me see the weight is at 3.5. I knew there was something up. I want it to be 1.5. That was 3/4. I want it to be 1.5, and I am not liking this. I'm at the edge, delete, and that's going to remove that phantom space we have there. So I'm going to select the text box and then make it bullets, and that's it. So for the next item, we are going to insert a chart. So insert, we'll go to charts, select, click, and now we're going to select this option. Okay. So I'm just going to move it here. So first of all, we just want one category essentially. So I'm just going to scroll down, come to this, and then select this edge, and then move this like this. And now we just have 4 bars, and that's it. Then I'm going to move this around, grab this handle, just move it. Let's see. So first of all, let me delete this series, delete. We're going to go to format. We're going to add a fill color white. So we now have a white fill. I'm going to click on this chart area. I'm going to select these lines and then just press delete, and they are gone. Now for this, I'm going to make this key trends. I'm going to change the font. So go to home. We're going to make it Montserrat, leave it the size as is, change the color to black. Now finally I want to, change the size of the bars. I want them to be bigger. So I'm going to go to, when we're in the series options, I'm going to grab and select the bar, and we're going to change this to 66. Enter. And we have these bars. I'm going to go to fill and change it to black. And that is it. Or almost. I want to have an outline. So while we're selected on the chart itself, we're going to add an outline. Let's make sure that it's 1.5. Yes, I want it to be 1.5. And that's it. Let me check. Let me change the size. So I want the height to be 14.5 and I want the width to be 18. And I'm just going to move it much closer. So wherever this lies, I'm going to grab this to arrange and I'm going to align middle and going to just leave it as is and I'm going to kind of nudge it down a bit. Then I'm going to group them. So I'm going to do Control G and now we have this single group and I'm going to, because they are the main focus of our slide, we're going to align center. So I'm just going to, so if you click on it, it's overlapping, but it doesn't really affect the chart itself. If you don't like it, you can go ahead and now for just a tiny bit of detail, because we don't have our teal color we constantly have. You know what? I'm going to grab everything and I'm just going to take things down a bit. Sorry, I'm just going to move this so it's at the edge of this. Move it around a bit so it's just over there. Now for the final detail, I want to add a touch of our teal color we've been using. So you know what? We can just go back to theme introduction. This right here, Control C, and we're just going to copy it. Come back here and then Control V and it's pasting it. I thought I was in Figma, sorry. I'm just going to grab it and move it over here till, you know, PowerPoint makes some sort of suggestion and just leave it there and we just have this tiny bit of detail to our chart and our trends chart slide is done. So once again, take a look at it. It looks good. Escape to exit and we are done with the trends slide. Now that we're done with the trends, we're going to go to white choosers. Once again, go to insert. We're already here, or home, blank. We're going to insert a new slide and we're going to start first with rectangles. We're going to insert a shape rectangle. I'm just going to click no outline and then change the fill to black. For the width, these are the dimensions I'm going to use. I'm going to make this 32.55 and the height is going to be 5.6. Just going to move it up here and what we're going to do is just drag it because I want all the rectangles to be in the back because I like building it in stages. So I'm going to hold Control and Shift. Doesn't really matter because we're still going to align it. Control and Shift, drag. We're still going to make sure that everything is perfectly aligned, and then we have this. Now the next item we're going to use are images. We're going to insert 3 images. This time pixels. We're going to pixels. So I'm going to open my browser, and we have 3 images from is this site? I don't know how to pronounce it, but pronounce this. But this is the account name, image. You can use whatever. It's a handshake. Search a handshake. Get an image. We're going to use this lady, Christina Morillo, I think. Woman standing near a whiteboard. This image, any image of a woman would do, or a man, anyone you want. Same woman. This one, it's a conference room to broach of people. So I want to kind of like showcase, hey, this is us, something like that. So I've already downloaded these images and they're already in my download. So I'm going to go back to PowerPoint and use whatever method you want to use to insert the image. I'm just going to go over there, select all three and drag it into our presentation. And yeah, we have it. So I'm going to grab this handle and just resize this one, going to give resize this one, and we're also going to resize this one. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to grab this. We're going to start with this, and once again I'm going to grab the angle and this angle, that corner, and just drag it till it fits right there. So I already there's no need to check whatever the dimensions come up to, that's what it will be, but it fits, to make sure that we don't have any fugitive spaces. Let me say we have, so okay, now I can say that okay, it didn't fit perfectly, and that's why switch. So I'm going to zoom in a bit so I can see what I'm doing, or you can use the dimensions of the rectangle to check. I'm going to move this till going to kind of fit it in. One funny thing is I could have just changed, I could have just, and this looks fine. For the second image, we're going to move this lady to this corner. Yeah, let's move this to the side. Going to move this here. Use our arrow key when things get difficult. And then grab this edge and resize. There we have it. We have our lady over here. And this side, we're going to bring it to this side as well. And we're just going to grab it and resize it till it fits. So let's look at it, see how it fits. We're going to have to move things here. This one looks fine. Skip. Going to move it up a bit. Maybe zoom in. Um, yeah. Let me look at it once more. Okay, this looks fine. So going to go back to. So we're going to insert a text box. So insert text box, and then we're going to write unique, enter, selling. Going to fix things up in a bit. Unique selling points. Drag this out. Going to change the font to Montserrat. Change the color to white. We're going to change the size to 24. Make this 24. And just kind of eyeball it. So since they are all going to be the same for all, we're just going to once again duplicate when you can. Control and drag. I'm going to drag this over here. Once more, I'm going to drag this over here. This item is testimonials. Testimonials, but there's just one. Testimonials. There's just one anyway, but yeah, it is what it is. So we have testimonials. Just going to drag it and center it. Just kind of, eyeball it so you kind of have the same spacing. Hopefully, I'm going to move this to see that whether it aligns. Yeah. So once again, I'm going to select all this and change it to awards. going to hold shifts and then drag it down so that everything is aligned. So now we have these three items. Next, we're going to insert a line. Insert, go to shapes, line. Grab this, I'm holding shift, and I'm going to drag it across. So, for the line, there's really no, let's use 3.6. 3.6, yeah. Going to move this. I'm going to grab this rectangle, grab the line, align, align middle so the line lies perfectly in the center. I'm going to change the color. We're going to go to shape outline and of course use our tail color. Now I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Hold control, drag it here. We're going to tidy things up, but for now here, still holding control, drag this once more. So select the rectangle first, select the line second, align, align middle. Okay, that was fine. Select the rectangle, it's a bit, just a bit. I'm going to grab this, grab the line, align, align middle. And now we are almost home free. We're almost there. So um, for the final element, we're going to add yet another text box. So once again, insert text box. And as usual, when I want to write something, I just write text so it doesn't, disappear on me. I'm just going to write text, select the box, change it to white, change the font to Montserrat, leave the font as 18. And then we're going to grab our content. So once more, use Lorem Ipsum text or use any text of your choice. I'm going to go to unique selling points. These are the contents for unique selling points. I'm going to copy that, select this and paste. Drag it as far as it will go. I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to select the text before I do any further formatting. I'm going to hold control. Oops, that was not supposed to happen. Escape. Select just the text box. Hold control, drag. Once still holding control, I'm going to drag it again. I just leave it there. Now for this, I want it to have bullet points. I'm going to add bullet points. And again, I'm just going to make sure everything is centered. Give me, it's not bringing up the option I want. So I'm just going to grab the box, grab the text, go to arrange, align, middle. It's fine. Just going to use my arrow key to nudge it backwards a bit. On testimonials, we're going to grab the content for testimonials, and here's the testimonial. Control C. We're going to select everything in this box. Control V, and we're going to paste. We're going to leave it as it is. So for the final, that's awards. I'm going to grab this. You know what? This I'm going to change the alignment so that it's this way. Yeah, I prefer that. So for this, we're going to excuse me. For awards, we're going to grab. It's just one item. Just going to grab this and select all of these. Just going to Control E and then Control V. Grab this item and move it down. Going to move it down so that Place it's showing that it's aligned with this content. So I'm going to grab the rectangle, select this, go to arrange, align, middle, and that's it. We are done with this slide. Now let's open it in the presentation view and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks fine, and we're done with that. Escape to exit. Next, we're going to create the our process slide. So we're going to this is the only section that is going to have two slides. So one is going to be a timeline and one is going to be a roadmap. So let's start with the timeline. So as usual, new slide, blank. So first of all, we're going to insert a text box and then we're going to write timeline. Timeline, and going to select this and change this to Montserrat 44. Hmm? Sorry, uh, 44. Sorry about that. Yeah, just going to grab this and you know, kind of just put it over there. Next, we're going to insert a diamond shape. So go to shapes, grab a diamond. We're going to grab a diamond shape and we'll just tap, and we're going to set it to no outline, change the fill to a teal color, and now we're going to go to its size and then set this to 1 by 1 cm by 1 cm, and we have our diamond shape, and oh, it's actually squared in the middle. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're just going to grab this and shift control drag. No set distance for now. We're just going to do shift and drag, shift and drag, shift control and shift, then we drag, and now we have these diamond shapes. Next we're going to insert some lines. So first of all, we're going to just grab this line and we're going to do this. So we're going to come here and then make this 5 cm. That's it. So I guess we'll have to move this, which is not a problem. We'll figure it out. Move all of this down. So now that we have this line, we're going to I'm going to come over to outline, make it black. Now that we have this outline, we're going to do something else. We could, change the direction of this line, but, just, to make things easier, just insert another line and hold shift, drag, and just going to come here and make it 5 cm. Once again, we'll make the shape outline, black. So now that we have both lines, we're going to grab this and this. We're going to arrange, align, align center, and we're going to grab the diamond first, this diamond first, and we're going to grab this line, arrange, align, middle, and something like this. Fine. So we're pretty much eyeballing this entire section. Let's just grab everything here, and I'm just going to move it to this side. One more element, or a few more. We're going to add one more shape. Before I duplicate all this, I want to add other shapes. I'm going to go once again to shapes, this time a rectangle. Just going to drag it like this. No outline. Change the fill color to this. We're going to grab this really light gray color. You know what? We could even go for something even lighter. Like, let me see. Let's go for. Oh, sorry, silly me. We're going to go for something. Let's go with this. It's much lighter. So the dimensions for this, we're going to set the width to 3.5. Now let's make it 1.5, and we're going to make the height 3.5. And we're going to grab this and move it here. So I'm going to grab my selection pin and I'm going to bring this just way back here. Now we have this, I don't know what we'll call it, maybe like a postcard or something. Just move it around so that it kind of fits. And now we have this. So now I'm going to, you know what, I think, let's leave it like this. Now we are almost done. I'm going to add a text. This time I'm going to add text. Let me move this a bit. I'm going to insert another text box. So grab the text and I'm going to write week 1 to 2. Enter needs assessments. That's it. We're going to change the font size. First, we're going to select this week 1 to 2 and make it 24. And instead, we're going to also change this to semi-bold. Just going to increase this, select this, and then let's make it 20. And just going to move it up a bit till it's like there. So I guess this looks good. I'm going to nudge this even a bit, so we're going to have to kind of make sure that it looks good essentially. So once we're done with this, now the next is to build the next one. You know what, I'm going to maybe just delete this because it will be much better. So I'm just going to grab this entire thing and then hold Control and Shift and drag. Once again, Control and Shift, drag. Let's PowerPoint kind of guide the way. Once again, Control and Shift, drag. So now that we know that everything is, it's probably, let's hope, fingers crossed, is all perfectly aligned, we're going to grab this, everything here. Oops, sorry. I'm going to grab everything here, select all of these, and I'm going to hold Shift so it stays in the same line, and I'm going to bring it down here. So with the exception of the line, I'm going to now move everything. I'm going to maybe select this, still holding Shift. I'm going to drag this down, and that looks fine. We should be done with that. We're going to change the text, but for now, let's focus on the design. We're going to grab, same with the other one, we're going to grab this, and we're going to hold Shift, drag this down. There we go. Going to grab this and this, drag down, delete this line. So we're almost there. We're going to align everything, but for now, let's clean up the text. So let's change the text rather. Now for week 3 to 4 is going to be solution design. Enter design. For week 5 to 6 is going to be implementation and testing. Move this. Yep. And for the final one, which is week 7, we're going to have 7 plus here. Optimization and training. Oops, sorry. Optimization and training. Going to drag this out a bit, and that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this entire thing, select everything, Control G, and it's one giant group. I'm going to arrange, align, center. Maybe I should go also align middle. Oh, that's too close. So I'm just going to drag it down while holding shift so it's all still aligned, and I think that looks good. So we are done with the timeline slide. For the next slide is the roadmap slide. So while we're still here, go to new slide, blank. So we're going to start with the text, insert text, go to text box. We're going to write roadmap. And we're going to make this Montserrat 44. Now we're going to insert a table. So we'll go to insert, and where is it? Okay, table, and we're going to select this option, insert table, and this dialog box will come up. So we'll leave the number of columns as 5 and the rows will set it to 9, and okay, and now we have this. Now we're just going to do a bit of formatting on it. So we're going to select these options, and we're going to go to medium and select this first one, medium style 1, and select that. So next we'll select just any cell within this row, this column rather. So we'll select that, go to table layout, and here we're going to check, okay, table column width, we're going to set this to 15. Then move here, make this 3.5. Same with this one, make it 3.5. Same, we're going to do the same for the rest of the columns and make all of them 3.5. Now that we have this, we're going to add in some value. So we're going to do a bit of typing. I'm trying to grab onto the edge of, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, just going to, center it. So we're going to do a bit of typing, and this will before I even start, let me just change the text to Montserrat so we don't have to change it later. So select this first one, and the first one is tasks. Oh, sorry, it's currently bold. Let me unselect. Let's make this tasks. This will be, it's still selecting month 1. This will be, again it's doing that, month 2. Here we have month 3, and finally we have month 4. Now that we have this all here. We're going to come here and then write plan, type planning, go to the next one, research. Next is prototype production. Next is testing. Next is quality assurance. Next is implementation. After that is follow up. Okay. And finally, we have documentation. And we are almost there. So we're not going to add any other values. This time we're going to, I think this is called a Gantt, is it a Gantt chart? I can't remember. So that's what I'm trying to do. So we're trying to give like an estimate of the timeline, similar to what we did in the previous slide, but in different way. So I'm going to insert a rectangle. I'm going to shapes, rectangle, and I'm just going to make this really thin. I'm still going to change some things. I'm going to change no outline, and for the height of the rectangle, we're going to make it very, very small. We don't want it to be too thick. We want it to look, we just want it to look like a very thick line. So I'm going to make this 0.25, and we're going to make the fill black. For the length or the width, I would say you don't really need to think about it, but trying to grab at this, to resize it like while it's like this is going to be difficult. So if you want to use the measurements I'm using, these were the measurements I used when I created the original version, and I'm recreating it now. So if you want to use my exact measurements, but essentially we're just trying to get like a waterfall effect. I'll demonstrate this. So I'll just make this 1.8, and it's so small. We have PowerPoint has provided us with a handle. Before I do that, I'm going to grab it and hold Control so that we'll have a duplicate, because we're going to need multiple. Then I'm going to grab it, and just where month one starts, just about here, we're just going to leave it there. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's not what we're here for. So second one, we're going to hold Control, drag it, and this one we're going to make the length 5.5. So we'll go to shape formats, go here 5.5, and but we want to add pop of our color we've been using. So once again, we'll make it this teal color. So we're going to grab this and we're going to put it just about, planning and research comes around the same time. Yeah. Once again, grab this, hold control to duplicate it. Now the next one is going to be 2.3. Then we're going to grab it, and this is going to be somewhere around here. Don't sweat the details. It's just we just want to get kind of like an effect we want to see. Then next, once again, control drag to duplicate it once more. This is going to be the same 2.3 as the other one, but no worries. 2.3. Once again, we're going to grab this, and this is going to come around here. If it's giving you issues, just use your arrow keys to nudge it in place. Next one, we're going to once again control drag to duplicate. We're going to make this 3.8, and we're going to grab this, and it's almost going to be, it's almost overlapping this one. Basically, it's overlapping the entire thing. So For the next one, again, yes, you guessed it, one more duplicate. This is going to be just like one of two have already been. We're going to make this 2.3, and the next one is going to be 2.32. So I'm going to hold control and drag because I'm going to need another one of 2 point length 2.3. I'm going to grab this and move this just a little bit to the side. Grab this one, same thing, just move it a little bit to the side here. I'm going to use my arrow keys to move it around so it looks okay. Then this, the final one, we don't need to duplicate it again. We're going to make the width 3.45. That's it. Grab this, and we're going to have it at the end because this is the end of the project. I'm going to, I'm having issues, so use the arrow keys to nudge it. So um, I remember looking into this chart when I first saw it. I was like, "What's going here?" So essentially, this was me. These are the tasks we're supposed to. So month one, research, planning and research is going to happen. All is going to happen here. So this is where sometime month one planning will happen, stop. Then research continues well into month two, and prototype production starts sometime in month two, and it will be around sometime. It will end sometimes, or sometime maybe just before month three begins, and then quality assurance begins immediately after testing. While quality assurance is going, implementation is also going. Yeah, because it makes sense. Because as you're implementing it, you're checking it for, as you're testing, you're doing testing, you're doing quality assurance, you're also doing implementation at the same time. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. You troubleshoot as you go. The follow up is like overlap with these two, but it will happen after quality assurance, and then finally documentation is the last thing that happened. That kind of like a report to see everything that happened, and that's what I understood it as. Now, if I've made some sort of mistake, or I'm misunderstanding what it's about, you can just correct me. But when I learned about a Gantt, I think it's Gantt chart, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, that was essentially what I got from it. So this is essentially it, and I'm just going to, since I know that this chart is centered on, I'm just going to grab everything because all these bars are separate elements. I'm going to, oops, that means I can't group. Oops, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Sorry. I did that without doing all this. So I think this looks fine because I know that the table is in the center. I'm just going to move this roadmap so it kind of aligns with the roadmap, and we are done with this slide. Maybe just, I can already tell that it's a bit, I'm just going to, oh wait, PowerPoint, you just eyeball a lot of things. It's fine. So we're going to open our presentation view to see how it looks, and there you have it. Here is our roadmap, and yeah, it's done. So that's it. Okay, now that we're done with the roadmap slide, we are done with this. We are on the final slide. So this is going to be the final slide. Hey, we made it to the end. So once more, new slide, blank. So this slide is going to be a bit unique. I want it to look exactly like, not exactly, but as close to the first slide, but it also has a bit of content in it. So I'm going to format background, and I'll set it to picture or text fill. So we're going to insert a picture, select the source, stock images. Let's give it a moment to load. Yep. So I'm going to search charts, enter, and since it's a fintech, it's a fintech company, we're going to use something that looks, fintech like. Um, let's see. I'm going to grab, where is it? I had my heart set on one particular image and I can't seem to find it. You know what? I'll go with this. We have the graph and we have the up and down of the graphs. Or let me see. I can't find. I actually saw the image earlier. Okay, let's go with this. I kind of like this one. So let's go with this. Going to wait a bit, and now we have this. So I'm just going to borrow something from here. So I'm going to grab this rectangle. I'm going to copy it, and then just go with Control V, and I've pasted it. Next, we're going to insert a rectangle. So shapes, rectangle. I'm just going to insert it there. We're going to change the outline to this teal color. Then we're going to remove the fill. So we're going to set it to no fill. Let's increase the weight of the um, rectangle's outline. So for the height, we're going to make it 6.5, and for the width, we're going to make it 3.5. There we go. Going to move this just a little bit. We're still going to do some work there. So we're just going to grab text. I'm already in this panel, and I already have text box. I'm just going to grab a text. I'm going to write thank you with an exclamation point, exclamation mark. Now I'm going to change this to Monster Arts and make it 72. Just move things a bit. Then change the color to white. Then we're going to grab it and put it over this till it's about there. So we're going to grab anyone, doesn't matter which one you grab first. Arrange, and we're going to align middle, and we're going to group it. And now that we're still selected on this group, we're going to arrange, align center, and I'm just going to nudge it a bit. So we have this thank you. We're going to insert yet another text slide, another text box. So we're going to insert this text. I'm going to write text. I don't want it to disappear on me because I'm going to copy a bit of content. You can go ahead and use lorem ipsum text if you want. As usual, I'm going to leave it as is. So I'm going to grab the my notes. See, we did all this without opening our notes. I'm going to grab this. So this is a short message from our company thanking everyone. Presenter is going to, you know, I think about PowerPoint, as we know, is you're not putting everything there. This is just, except maybe if it was a um, maybe if the presentation was happening online, then maybe you could have everything. But typically, so I'm just going to center it. I didn't do much. So just are the dimension. If you want the exact dimensions, but that's just how I decided to go. And I'm going to go align to make sure align center. That was fine. So I'm just going to select this text box, hold control and drag because there's a second, our contact information and some other things we'll want. Listen, so this is just, there was nothing to put there. So I just will, uh, maybe in your own, you can add your companies or whatever information you would like to, you know, make your viewers aware of, then go ahead and add that. So I'm going to grab this once again. I'm going to go to align, align center. So I think we are done. I'm just going to kind of move things a bit. I'm going to grab these three items and Control G, group them. So once again, go to align, align middle, and there we have it. We are done with our final slide. So let's look at it from the beginning. We're not done yet. Don't go anywhere yet. We're going to add some transitions and some effects so that we have a proper slide. So let's start this, and we'll just start this from the beginning. Innovation consulting. Let's take a moment to look at all of this, and yeah, we have our slide. So now what we are going to do is we are going to add some transitions. Okay, I know I said we are going to add some transitions, but in actuality, it's just one transition. So what we're going to do is, just on the slide, we'll go to the transitions tab, and then we're going to pick reveal. Now, if you don't like this effect, you can change it to whatever you want. You can do split, you can do push, you can do, I don't know, wipe, whatever you like. But for this, I chose, reveal as the effect I went for. If you want to change, the duration to make it shorter, we could make it, just 3, and let's preview it so it's a bit faster. Now, so you could reduce the um, transition effect. These are the tabs. We won't go too much into details and transitions. As time goes on, I use a lot of transitions. I don't know, I don't think I've used all, but I've used a lot of transitions. But as time goes on, I'll show you all the transitions and stuff and how you can modify the effects. And now we're going to select this. I'm going to apply it to all. So I'm going to, so that's it. That's literally it. And now we're going to go to this. If you don't have it, this starts from beginning. If you don't have this here, if you don't have that here, that's no problem. I think it should be there. So we're just going to start it. And since I set the transition to all of them, it's also going to affect the first slide. So I'm going to use my arrow key, and there we have it. And it's just going to roll like that, and voila, that's that's essentially it. So you can go around and play with it, maybe play around with transition. If it feels too slow, make the duration shorter. If it feels too fast, make the duration longer. And with that, we are done with this video. I hope you enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoy watching it and following along as much as I enjoyed making it. And with that, good day and happy creating.